Hey guys, it's your girl Sean and I'm back with another video. I hope you had a good time and a great summer so far. My apologies for being gone for so long. I have been getting my ass kicked by life, but I thought I'd come out here and start putting more videos out in an investment to you guys and to myself and kind of therapeutical, you know what I'm saying? So, forgive me. I just had to check to see if my dog is still there because, you know, he tends to do some things. So I wanted to give you guys a life update, and judging by the title, I'm pretty sure this might trigger somebody. So this is a warning. I'm going to be very vulnerable. If I cry, forgive me. And it could be triggering for you, maybe it not. But my purpose of making this video is for awareness and also to let other people know, not just women, men, kids, adults, parents, all that you're not alone. You can get the support. You got this. And no matter what obstacles in your way, you can do this. Yeah. So as you know, typically my videos are not edited. Maybe because I'm lazy. Maybe I haven't got it yet. But this is how I relate in the most realist way. So, life update. Yeah. Career changes. Definitely manifesting a lot of things for myself now, taking care of myself a lot more now, trying to start up different projects to become a better person, letting go of a lot of toxicity in my life, journaling, praying, eating well, exercising, all that good stuff. And although that sounds really good on textbook, I'm going to tell you what the realest thing that made me change. It was not just one event, it was a series of events. And I'll be honest, I got exhausted. Like, I'm gonna be as real as it comes here. I got exhausted. I got tired of dealing with bullshit. I got tired of dealing with toxic people, toxic situations. I was being toxic to myself. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of us, we look at other people and say, well, they're at fault. But what we really have to do is hold ourselves accountable because we allow it. So, the video is not to shit on anybody. I'm not shitting on anybody. I'm not calling anybody out their name. I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm just speaking from my perspective on my story. And I'm hoping and praying that it can touch somebody else and maybe they can make the right decisions moving forward. I'm not going to sit there and expose my whole business, but I will tell you enough that you can understand where I'm coming from. And hopefully this can help you. So, over the last few months, even a couple of years, I have been dealing with anxiety, depression. I was dealing with a lot of self-neglect, lack of self-love, and it was formally diagnosed that I was a victim of narcissistic abuse. Yeah, this was not my choice. This is not my words. This was actually a professional who actually said this to me. And it opened my eyes in a way that I've never seen life before. Like, my background's in social work, okay? Hospitality, interpersonal skills. I never thought in a million years that I would be that person. People who know me to growing up, I was always the happy-go-lucky, let's be this, wild, I'll do anything once type of person. But I'm here to let you know, not that it was a facade, but it was a cover-up. I guess that what some people would say a facade. It was a cover-up for pain. I was dealing with a lot of pain, a lot of growing pains, a lot of depression, a lot of suppressed feelings and memories that, I'll be honest, like, the anxiety was on 10. Like, man, I don't know if any of you suffer from anxiety, but there's different levels, and mine just kept gradually getting worse to the point where I was losing time in my life. Like, I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to talk to anybody. If I tried to go out, I would start having panic attacks. Like, I started suppressing myself and just feeling sad all the time, and I didn't know how to deal with it. There was a turning point in my life where I did start to work on myself some more. This was about 6 or 7 years ago, where I started going to the gym, eating right, doing all the things that society tell you need to do to be the good person. And I met somebody, and when I met that person, that person changed my whole perspective on love. Like, I was like, oh my God, I'm so in love with him. Like, it felt like a fantasy. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm a hopeless romantic. I sit there and I blame Tyler Perry for this because he always be making these damn movies where like the girl breaks up and meets a ghetto guy and the ghetto guy seems to be really cool and then they get engaged and they get married and blah blah blah, happy ever after. You know what I'm saying? I'm just so tired of people equating struggle with love. Like that shit should not be a thing. Like you shouldn't have to struggle to find love, and then when you have love you have to have these obstacles that are just so mentally draining. But anyways, that's a different story. So I met this person, and because this is what I start to realize. I was not in a healthy mental state when I met this person. I had just lost my job. I got rid of some toxic friends. I was alone on my birthday. I was just not in a good mental space. So when they came into my life and offered that little peace, that little bit of tranquility and serenity, like I ran with it. And even though I've seen all the red flags there that I would have normally just been like, no, nah. I just held on to him, and he was like the best thing since sliced bread. I was like, yeah, he's my whole world. And I even remember in the beginning going to work and asking my guy friends, like, do you think something's wrong with this? Should I be worried about this? Like things that I would never typically deal with, that I knew in my brain, this is not a good idea. I had to seek validation for it because I just wasn't sure. Anywho, do I still love that person today? 100%. There's nothing that's going to change that, because when you love somebody unconditionally, there is nothing that you can do but love them. Do I forgive that person for the things that happen? Absolutely, because God told me to. And I want to be free, and I want to be out in the world, and I want to experience the world lively and not being controlled by anger and all that stuff. But I have to say that my experience with this person and the bare minimal that I was getting, the lack of respect that I was getting, the fact that I wasn't heard, the fact that I was gaslighted, the fact that I got into such a deep depression that I lost myself entirely and became this yes person just for validation of love. Man, forgive me if I start crying. It is like, wow. I completely lost who I was, the time. I remember, and I'm going to be completely honest, and if my mom or dad or family members ever watch this, guys, please don't feel sorry for me because I'm in a good place right now. I remember it got so dark that I isolated myself from my family and my friends. I convinced myself mentally that nobody loved me. And even though people were there and they tried to show me, I just couldn't receive it. That's big. Let me repeat that again so you can understand, because a lot of the times people are there to show you love. They just don't know how to give it to you. They don't know what to say to you. They don't want to step over your toes or create boundaries. And sometimes they do, and you end up retracting and just staying into yourself. I'm going to be honest with you. I couldn't receive it. I couldn't receive the love. So I had mentally convinced myself that this man was everything. His family was everything. His kids were everything. Because me, I didn't have nothing. And that wasn't true. Like, it just comes down to what you believe, your perspective, and how people deal with you in a relationship, right? And that doesn't mean just boyfriend and girlfriend. That means like family members, sisters. Like, trust me, I grew up with a lot of toxicity. Now that I'm starting to realize it, a lot of narcissistic people within my main core of my foundation, which would be like family, friends, whatever. But back in those days, those things weren't really diagnosed. Those things weren't really addressed unless you went and paid thousands of dollars for a therapist for them to tell you, yeah, you need to work on yourself and love yourself. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not disregarding therapists in any shape or form, because they are very valuable and I believe in them. And hell, I'm at a point right now where I'm seeing a therapist. Enough of this pride and ego. Let's go see therapy, because man, let me tell you, it changes your life. It changes your life. God is first, therapy is second. Like, that's how I feel. But anyways, I digress. In this relationship I experienced, in many of the relationships that I've had in the last 10 years were narcissistic relationships. 3 of them very main relationships were very narcissistic. And in those relationships, there were different severities of that narcissism. And here's the thing that a lot of people don't say. I feel sorry for them. because they don't know what they're doing. They do know what they're doing, but they don't know what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of them are just products of their own environment. A lot of them are insecure individuals that grew up with a narcissistic parent that end up taking on that narcissistic behaviors and characteristics. And as a narcissist, they're naturally, magnetically attracted to codependency. And codependency will look like a giver, someone that's full of love and life, but still has insecurities that have to second guess themselves. And in some cases, they work together in a way that actually can work. If you don't believe me, please go read this book called The Human Magnet Syndrome from Ross Reisenberg. He helped me a lot. And there's tons of podcasts that will teach you this. But I was the codependent. And that's because over the years, I had experienced different types of things that I never spoke about because I didn't want to appear weak. I didn't want to cry. I didn't want to face my truth. I didn't want people to think that I was weak. I wanted people to always think that I was fun, that I was happy, that I was go-lucky. I wanted people to accept me. I wanted validation for my existence. Let's be real. Like, I'm going to call it what it is. I grew up being bullied for my size. I got bullied because I was quote unquote liked. I got bullied because I was lighter skinned, because I had different hair. I got, I'm going to say it. I was emotionally abused, physically abused. I was gaslighted. And I mean, as I'm saying these things, I know what you guys are saying. Victim, or I can relate. You are not a victim if you can learn to grow out of it. You are just calling your truth and your awareness. That's all it is. You are not a victim anymore. We are not victims. It is time for us to stand up. So what I've learned in this relationship that I continue to learn is that, for one, I didn't cope with my feelings very well. I used to disguise my feelings as goofiness and being the wild one and being the one that was more, how can I say, outgoing and stuff. And those were great personality traits to have, but they were also compensating for the lack of self-love and insecurities and so on. I always wanted validation for my love. Always. Whether that was through my friendships, I was always giving way beyond and leaving my cup completely empty. And then when I got overwhelmed, I would isolate. And my friends would always tell me, you're a flake, you're this, you're never around when I need you. And I'm sitting here in my brain like, do you know what I'm going through? But I wasn't saying nothing. And at the times that I wanted to say something, well, I had toxic friends. And those toxic friends would talk about their business and my business amongst each other. They weren't sitting here trying to help. They weren't sitting here trying to say, okay, let's figure this out. It was all just toxic. And hey, I was toxic too, because I was joining in the fun just to be accepted. I'm gonna call my shit out. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not gonna sit here and be like, you. I gotta call my shit out too. And it's like, I just had all these things in my brain. And every time I tried to open up my mouth, I was always opening up my mouth to these narcissistic people who would say, but you have me. Yeah, my ex used to say that to me all the time, but you have me. What do you care when you have such a good-looking guy like me? Like, what the fuck? And I remember saying, like, what the fuck? But I still carried on with it. And it's like, I didn't really believe what he said, but I was just like, but he's right. Like, almost like a trophy, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I always found myself feeling like I was at fault. Like, if I didn't do these things to please that person, it's my fault. I was the bad one. I was no good. I was the shitty one. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't pretty enough. I was skinny enough. It was always me. I was always taking on the blame. Like, shit. He could have gotten in a fight with, I don't know, some next dude, some next nigga. I'm the problem. He could have not got into school. Oh, I wish I was there. Like, I was always the problem in my brain. Especially when you're cheated on all the time. Like, I was being cheated on, and this is the thing that you guys need to understand. When a man or a woman cheats, they're not cheating because you're not good enough. They're cheating because they don't feel like they're good enough and they need someone to inflate their ego. A real man and a real woman would have the courage to say, I'm not really feeling this relationship anymore. It's not serving me. I love you. I think you're an amazing person. Yada, yada, yada. I need you women and men to understand that, because I know the first thing you're going to think. It's me. Because I was there. And I was being gaslighted. And I was being told that I'm not good enough. On top of all that shit from a man, I was being told that by family members. You would look good if you were just this skinny. You would look good if your hair looked like this. You should take, like, it's not coming from a place like you should take care of yourself. It's coming from a, you would be better if. Which to me, in my head, was, I don't love you because. Or I will only love you because. And it hurt. And of course, it conditioned me to believe that I was not good enough. And no matter how much someone would tell me, you're so beautiful and you're so this and you're so that. Sorry, guys. I'm probably going to cry. No matter how many times I was told, I would never believe it. I remember my mom just told me recently, she's like, I don't understand why you keep going through this with people. Don't you look in the mirror and see who you are? And I said, Mommy, I didn't like who I was. I didn't like looking in the mirror. I didn't like seeing who that person was. God, this is so embarrassing. But this is real. Like, this is real life. And I know I'm not the only one that goes through this. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah. I was a victim of a narcissistic relationship. Many of them. Not one, not two. A lot. Like, from childhood to now. And I'm going to say this with all purity and all grace and all humbleness and all humility. I am thankful. I am thankful because I'm telling you, I had an experience one day in my darkest moments, because I got dark with it. I didn't realize it was depression. I didn't realize it was all these bad things that were in my brain that was actually happening to me, because I was being gaslighted every minute. Oh, it's in your head. That's not really happening. Like, what are you talking about? You're crazy. Oh, fuck off. Like, I was told everything. And one day I was in the shower and I had a dark moment. And in that dark moment, I was like, if I left the earth today, I don't think anybody would know. Sorry, guys. That's what narcissistic abuse can do to your mental health. It will make you think the worst of yourself. Like, you don't matter without this person. You don't matter without them. And I swear to God, as clear as day, like, as clear as day as if someone was up in my ear just being like, yo, listen, like, a voice, and I believe till this day that's God, had told me, do not change. You are loving. You have a good heart. Keep being you. And I remember I was like, what? That made no sense. Because the person I knew was weak, was ugly, was fat. Just couldn't understand why nobody loved her. But this voice kept coming and it said, keep being you, keep being you, keep being you. So eventually, after many losses and many obstacles and many challenges, 1 second, guys. Just had to make sure my dogs were still there. After all these things, I said in the mirror one day, stop being a bitch. Stop being a little bitch. We're not a victim anymore. My sister told me that one time. She's like, you're acting like the victim. And I'm sitting there on the phone like, how the fuck are you telling me I'm the victim when this person's doing this to me and this? But she was right. I was playing the victim because I had control. I was the person allowing this stuff to happen. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have enough love for myself to set those boundaries. So what did I start doing? And it happened little by little. This did not happen overnight. It happened little by little. In the relationship, I kept doing what I needed to do, but I would pull back. Like, I wasn't doing as much as I used to. Like, to me, in my brain, is like, you do not deserve wifely traits if you ain't gonna be a husband. Like, let me tell you, I'm not here to shit on him, but he knows who he is. And, you know, there's just some things that were not right. And I'm not sitting, like I said, my purpose is not to call nobody out, but If I were to give some examples, I was being cheated on. He doesn't know that I know, but I know. I was being cheated on with his baby mothers. I was being cheated on emotionally. When I said I didn't like certain things, I was not being listened to. I was not being respected. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't getting no help in the household. I wasn't getting no help in the bills. I was basically the old school man back in the day that took care of everything and let the wife stay home and take care of everything. That was me. And that was not the only relationship that happened. Like, I had another relationship, 4-year relationship, was engaged, whatever. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth because I am not a victim here. The relationship was bad, and I made a cowardly decision to go cheat. I said I wanted a break. He said, I don't accept breaks. I'm like, well, I don't give a fuck. We were living together. That was my first live-in boyfriend. And I decided to cheat instead of being courageous and saying, hey, this is not working for me. I was wrong for that. But prior to that, I was being gaslighted, cheated on, narcissistic relationship. This man would say all kinds of bad things about women. Like, he didn't love himself enough. And neither did I. So we're just two people trauma bonding over some shit. I digress. At the end of the day, coming back to what I said, you gotta stop being a bitch. So I started holding back. I still did what I needed to do because I wanted to still be that person. Like, there was still a sense of validation there. Because I'm like, if I do everything I want to do when I want to leave, they can't even say that I was the bad one. That's not the way to think. Because I'm still thinking about others and what they have to say. It took a long time for me to get to this point. And I'll tell you what my turning point was. And it's going to be very sad. I had lost... It was just a bad turning point in my life. Again, my relationship wasn't going well. I was holding down all the bills. I had 2 jobs. I had opened a business. I lost the business. I had converted into a 9-to-5, which I really said I never wanted to go back to because it was very depressing and the anxiety was on 10. And then I had my side hustle. And I was still broke because this man would not get up and do anything. And no matter, anytime I said, can you help me? He's like, okay, I'll go get a job. Like, why? What was the sense of that? Why are we doing it like that? Just be the man and do what you got to do. Because I was trying to get out of a situation and I was crying for help. I was literally crying. Like, he probably doesn't even know this, but every morning when I come down to get on my computer, I would bawl and bawl and bawl until my head and my eyes were burning. Like, I just couldn't do it. I would do it every day, then every other day. And on top of that, your girl got pregnant. And that was supposed to be a happy moment of my life. Because I was never able to carry out pregnancy successfully because I have uterine fibroids and I only have 1 working fallopian tube. So this was a miracle baby. But sadly enough, after 6 months, I had lost that child. I was so stressed out. I was so angry. And the way that I lost the child was just around COVID when everything was getting serious and doctors were not allowing people to come into the room. And that experience alone was very traumatizing. It was very broken. I didn't have a funeral. I didn't want to. I didn't want anything. Like, I didn't even sign no legal papers. Like, I was just done. I have the papers. I just didn't want to look at it. And it broke my heart. But anywho, when I lost that pregnancy, my mother got diagnosed with cancer prior to. I didn't want to share nothing with her because I didn't want her to be upset, because I didn't want her to stress out. I didn't want nothing. It was a lot. My job was stressful. And I couldn't even say, hey, well, here, actually, this is the bullshit. I told my boss, hey, I just lost a pregnancy. They gave me a week off for grievance. When I got COVID, I got 2 weeks off. Crazy, eh? But I was working from home. Don't even get into it. I know what you're thinking. Don't even get into it. But that loss and that hit, and like knowing that I could probably lose my mom and all kinds of stuff was going on, I was just hit. I was getting hit left, right, and center by life. Life was just like, girl. And my mind shifted from this is your only thing in the world that means something to, oh my God, your mom could be gone. You have lost a child. You are not happy. It was like, I was just, what? Like, it's like I woke up. And it took those things to wake me up. And it really freaked me out because I'm so thankful my mom is recovering and she's here and she's my biggest support and I love her. with all my heart and soul. I love that woman. I love my daddy too. But it took that. And then, of course, we ended up losing a goddaughter as well, which really hit deep for me because she was a good friend of mine. She was a little older, a lot wiser. I have her tatted on my back because she used to tell me some things that, you know, I'm the older one. Why are you telling me things? You know, you learn from kids. Trust me, you learn from people. And once I got hit like that, I was like, I just remember I went to Detroit, went to see my cousins, went to see my friends, and I felt like myself again. And that's the thing, like when you come out of these relationships, it's going to be hard because you don't just get back into society. You got to relearn how to do that stuff. And I'm doing that right now. You got to relearn to be around family. You got to relearn to be a part of society again, because this guy or this woman or this mother or father or whoever the narcissistic person is your whole life. They're essentially your whole life. So anyways, went to see them, spoke to my auntie, spoke to them. I seen how successful they were. They were all younger than me, but they were so successful, beautiful. Like they were strong. They were built strong. Like I love these girls. Like I love them with all my heart. You know who you guys are. I love you guys so much. And it encouraged me to try to do better. So when I got back, I quit my job. I had nothing to fall back on. I was just like, I couldn't do it because I was getting anxiety attacks, but I thought it was COVID because it was paining me in my chest. I was like, I can't breathe. I also have asthma, but I didn't realize it was actually anxiety. So I quit my job and I started doing like phone counseling here and there. I started talking to my friends who were therapists, and they were just kind of like, you need help, you're taking on a lot, you need help, you're gonna break down, like you need help. And I remember one friend that I spoke to, she's like, I'm really concerned about you. You sound like you're about to like do something really dangerous. And I bawled to her and I said, I don't know how to move past this. So the moral of the story is, because I can go on about this experience forever, is it starts with you. It took me a long time to get to this point where I had the courageousness to try to build into myself. I started going to the gym, and believe it or not, ladies and gents, that stuff actually does help your mental health more than you'll ever know. Forget just trying to lose weight and whatever. That stuff will really help you. I started doing things that I never thought I was going to do. Like, I'm a singer. I always sang backup for Toronto singers and people that were local and karaoke and stuff. And I took the challenge and created my own show. And seeing the love and support from people just made me feel so much better about myself. I started to build into myself things of value before I actually walked away from the relationship. Like, it took probably a year and a half. I'm not even going to lie to you. A year and a half? Don't judge me. Because you're probably still in that relationship. Don't you judge me. But yeah, I had to take time to pour into my cup. That was saying no to a lot of people. That was stop contacting people. That was setting boundaries. And it was hard. It was hard. Because when you go from always needing validation from someone to suddenly just standing on your own, that is very scary. So please don't let people plant the seed in your head like, it's so easy. All you got to do is say, No, it's not that easy. It was not easy cutting off people who I considered to be family. It was not easy trying to be a better version of myself when every day I was fighting myself. Every day at some point I would get up and cry. Every day I was having panic attacks. Every day this man was probably looking at me like this girl's on some bipolar shit because I'll be good, and then all it would take that bad moment or those memories of all the things that happened in the relationship or people that hurt me, and I would sit there and I would think. I'm a Gemini. I'm in my brain all the time. I'm a Gemini. There is one half that's like, oh, you're the best. And there's one half that's like, let's fucking kill them all. Like, devil, angel. Like, Harley Quinn to the fullest. Smart and psycho. And I was sitting there in my brain all the time thinking, like, why would they do that to me? How could I do this back? How could I get better? I know I'm better. I know I can do this. I know I can do that. Like that dog meme is like, I'm alive. I'm dead. I'm looking at you. You're looking at me. Fuck you. Like, that's basically what I was doing. Like, oh my God. And it is exhausting. So, anywho, my thing is you got to build into yourself, however that may look. If that means getting your nails done, get your nails done every week. Like, I remember it got to a point in my relationship that I was so focused on him that I didn't know how to do things for myself. So what did I do? I went and got a BBL. I know what people are saying, but you were insecure. No. I still loved myself very much, even as a big girl. Like, but I went and got the BBL because I wanted extra ass. It wasn't about losing weight. I didn't want the extra ass. That was the biggest thing for myself that I did, was do that for myself. And then everything started coming after. I started taking care of myself more. I started feeling more confident. I started speaking up more. And it was practice. I started journaling more. And let me tell you, journaling is key. Scripting is key. If you want to manifest a different life for yourself, script that shit. Create the vision boards. I have my vision boards here in my little corner, in my little office, and I look at them daily, and I'm telling you, that shit works. Journaling helps you see where you've grown. After the breakup, I actually stumbled across my old journals, and I started to realize I was broken from way before. Like, I was just like, oh my God. I started seeing things that I was talking about, what happened in the relationship, what hurt my heart. Like, I was seeing a bunch of stuff that I was like, these were all red flags. I seen it. Why didn't I walk away? Because I didn't love myself enough to walk away. I didn't think I could get better. I didn't think I would see better. I didn't think I was lovable. Like, damn, shit. Like, that's a big thing for someone to admit. I did not think I was lovable. And I know my friends and family are going to watch this and like, is this girl on crack? I did not think I was lovable. Straight up. I didn't think I was lovable. I did not think I was attractive. I tried to compensate for a lot of things. That's why I said that codependency, that is poison. But guess what? You're not a victim. You're not only a victim, you're also at fault. When I started realizing that I was a person that was allowing this, it changed my perspective on anything and everything. So I started chasing my dreams. And the more I started chasing my dreams and started feeling good about myself and doing little practices and habits to become a better person, the more I started praying to God. Now, not everybody's religious, and I get that. But God is my savior, my father, my mother, my whole world. I will not be here without God. And I was pulling myself away from God because I was doing a lot of sinful things that I felt like were unforgivable. And once again, I was not lovable. It was not until one day I broke down. And I really broke down. Like, I was like, oh God. I broke down and I said, I can't do this anymore. Like, I broke all the way down. And I said these things. I'll never forget it. I said, God, I am too weak to make these decisions. Be my strength. God, forgive me for always trying to take control of a situation when I should have let you do it. And I felt right then when I said that word, ooh, even when I say it right now, I feel it. It's like that was what God was waiting for. He was waiting for me to say that. Instead of praying for the things I need, God was saying, yes. It only took you this long, but yes. Okay, I'm going to step up. And I swear to God, God is so real. Like 2.2 seconds, God gave me an out to a bad situation. God said, revealed things to me that till this day, none of those people will ever know. God revealed things to me to show me this is the time. And if you don't do it this time, there won't be a next time for me to help you. Not that God's going to turn his back on me or nothing, but I had to learn my lesson. And as soon as I was done praying, in 2.2 seconds, God revealed that this person was doing some shit behind my back for over a year. And this is not the first, not the second, not the third, not the fourth, not the fifth time. Like, this has been ongoing. So I called my mom. And you know when you call your mom, that's final. And honestly, I love my mom, but our relationship was not always this close because I never wanted it to be. Like, I was too ashamed. I was too egotistical. I was like, I got to do everything by myself. I'm not going to be that weak one. I'm independent, blah, blah, blah. My pride was too much. And I called her and I said, and I broke down and I got weak with her and I got vulnerable with her. And I was like, Mommy, I want to leave. I need a new beginning. I need a new start. I need to get better in my life. Like, I need to do this. I need to do that. And when I got back home, opportunities were like, boom, 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 boom. I swear to you, within that hour, life changed for me within the hour. God is so good. And then I started obeying. And I started to figure out how things were going. And I made the hard decision to leave the relationship. Was it easy? No. That relationship, when you are a codependent, Like I said, that person's your whole world. And I had stepchildren, and I loved his family, and I still love him. It's crazy. Like, I love him, but I didn't love who I was with him, and that was more important to me. I didn't love the things that I was doing. I didn't love the fact that I was so stagnant. I didn't love the fact that I wasn't fun anymore. I didn't love the fact that I gained a bunch of weight because I was just too busy trying to make sure that you weren't doing anything bad. Like, I had anxiety from leaving the house for too long because I had this fear constantly in my head that that man was doing something wrong. And I would come home and he would be just fine. But there was so many things. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not mentioning all of that because my job is not to shit on him. Because I love that man. Oh God, do I love that man. But I needed to love myself first. And then I started thinking, why do I love that man? Is it true love? And when I really started digging deep, I realized that codependency was not healthy. It was very toxic. It led to a lot of toxic behaviors. I was gaslighting too. I was doing some dumb shit too, just so I can be in this toxic relationship. I was doing toxic things to be in this relationship with this person because I needed him to understand how much I loved him. I know some of you can relate. Don't sit here and act like you don't know. Don't sit here and act like you don't. Don't sit here and act like you brand new. We all been there. And if you haven't, God bless you. But us codependent people, yeah, we've been there. We done been there. And I still hurt till this day. Like, I'm still broken. I'm still hurting. I still love that person. There's a part of me that wants to still be there with him. But I will not allow myself to be there with him because God said, I have better for you. God said, no more dating. God said, be by yourself for a while. Okay. And I obeyed. So now what am I doing as a codependent recovery? I am going to therapy. I am seeing a psychotherapist who has formally diagnosed me with anxiety and depression and a victim of narcissistic abuse. Shit. Like, when you hear that stuff from a professional, it hits deep. It hits deep. It's not fun. I am still doing the exercising, and I changed my diet around. I have limited myself from packaged foods, which actually does help with the whole anxiety thing. I've been taking if I say it wrong, don't judge me. Ashwagandha or something, you know what I mean. It is a mineral, a mental stimulate. It helps you with stress because they wanted to put me on medication. But seeing and knowing people who've been on the medication, it makes you emotionless, it makes you tired, it makes you gain weight. It is not fun. I don't like it, so I'd rather deal with it on a naturopathic way. And now I'm at a point where I'm trying to date myself, which is hard because when you are in a narcissistic relationship or codependent, you will lose so much time of yourself in society that trying to be just you is hard. It's kind of like, think about this. You were with your family your whole time, and now all of a sudden your family uproots and moves to New York and you're left by yourself. Things that you would typically do in that family or routine is now changed. So you have to find new routines and new things to replace it and new habits, and you have to touch your mental, your spiritual, and your emotional and keep in touch to ensure that you do not go back to those behaviors. And it's challenging but rewarding. And I listen to a lot of podcasts from some of my biggest idols. I don't know if you know who this is, Crystal Renee. And forgive me if I don't say her name right. Hastet. I want to say it's Hastet, and she plays Fatima in Zatima and Fatima in Sisters. If you listen to her story, it's beautiful. I can relate to her so much. Like, I think she's a wonderful person. I'm chasing my goals. I'm trying every day. I get up, I praise God. When I can't praise him during the day, I praise him throughout the day. Like I said, I got my vision boards and my dogs. I love my dogs so much. Like, my dogs are great for mental health. They definitely keep me on my toes. My boy especially, he loves me beyond, like, if you ever want to experience unconditional love, get yourself a dog. Dogs will show you so much love, I'm telling you. And that's just where I'm at right now in life, just to give you an update. I know that was a lot. That's like 40 minutes in, but shit. Just know that you're not alone. Like, these are things that people go through. And it's not easy. I have lost friends. I have lost time with family members. I have missed baby showers, babies being born, weddings. Like, yo, it takes a toll on you. And I was so blessed enough that the people who remained loved me through this. Like, I was having a deep conversation with one of my best friends. I basically call her, she's my sister. I don't even look at her as a friend. And we were sitting there sharing our stuff, and she's like, I missed you. Like, you were here, but you were not you. I don't know who this person is. She said to me, she's like, I felt like I lost my best friend. And I said, yeah, you did, because I lost myself too. And it's like, how can I be a friend to you if I wasn't good to myself? So anyways, the moral of the story is, it is okay to love that person, but you need to love yourself more. If you feel like you are dealing with a narcissistic person and you are a recovering codependent, or you want to get out of that situation, or you want to do better for yourself, please understand this. You are valuable. You are loved. And even if you feel like certain people are not there for you, there will be people that will be there for you in the aftermath. Sometimes they just don't know how to be there. You are not alone. This person is not your solace. You see all the red flags. You know it's not healthy. You know it's toxic. And there's a difference between toxicity and just having a rough patch. You got to evaluate whether you are willing to keep putting up with that stuff, and look at yourself and ask yourself honestly, do I like who I am in this relationship? Does that person bring love and life into my life? Or does he bring stress and turmoil? Do I have to sit here and compete with women that he cheats with? Do I have to take care of him? Are my needs being taken care of? Am I being respected? Are we communicating? Are we doing things that are gonna uplift us? Listen, I got a rule now. When I'm 36, okay? I don't got much time left when it comes to dating okay, dating's always gonna be there, but I mean my biological clock. I don't got much time left. So I'm gonna definitely make myself way more valuable to me, pour into me, because the next man that I end up meeting and dating, I'm dating with purpose. I'm dating with the intent of marriage and romance and communication and spiritual growth and emotional growth, that we can really share on a spiritual bond. You understand what I'm saying? So pour into yourself. Say what you want. Make a list. List all the qualities that you want in a man, and list all the qualities you want in yourself. You don't need a man. A man is a luxury, not a necessity, baby. Understand that. You heard me. A man and a woman is a want, not a need. You do not need a partner to survive. What you do need, though, is God and love. And love yourself. Now, I know it's kind of all over the place, because this was a very hard topic for me. I wanted to keep it very civil. I didn't want to expose too much. But if you are going through something like this, and you have gone through something like this, I'm making a journey on how to love yourself and how to date yourself. And I want you to be a part of that. So you're actually going to go through this with me. This is not me pretending. This is not me just giving you steps. This is not me like, let's go through it together. Let's be each other's support. Please comment below if you've been through these situations, or you feel like it, or you feel like you know someone that's going through it, and you want advice on how to support them or to support yourself. Baby, it's just little baby steps. That's it. So I'm going to start taking you on my journeys. I made this video a little too long, but I hope this helps somebody out there. Also, the last thing I want to say is learn to forgive. Forgiveness is key. Forgive that person or those people, whoever they are, that was in that very toxic relationship. Forgive them and learn that it's not entirely their fault. And it's not entirely your fault. Sometimes life hits us with some choices and obstacles that we need to go through to learn and grow as a person. And that's why I said before, I am thankful for every man that hurt me. I'm thankful for every experience and mistake that I made. I'm even thankful for the fact that I may have hurt them and learned to grow from it. Because we're not all innocent. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I never did nothing to nobody. But I had to learn to forgive myself. and grow from it. And you need to learn to forgive yourself too. Forgive yourself for not leaving early enough. Forgive yourself for allowing that hurt in your heart, and for the thoughts you may have. Just forgive yourself and then forgive them, and then be at peace. Be at peace. When you forgive, you let go, and the power is now shifted. They will not control you no more. And the thing about forgiveness that's so beautiful is you can continue to forgive. So even if you mess up at some point and you have a bad thought and you're just like, fuck this person, I hope they die tomorrow. Like, forgive yourself for having that thought, and then keep it pushing. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Oh, that was hard, y'all. That was hard, but I'm so happy that I did this. And I hope and pray that you have a blessed day and highly favored. And I love you. And watch out for my next video, y'all. Bam, bam, bam. It's your girl, Sean. Love, peace, and tranquility. See ya. Bye.